And you're sobbing.
And you're sobbing. To wrap this little segment of history, you know, we have the K-dramas.
Let me lean into that. Let me lean into that.
Yeah.
For K-drama, sorry.
Oh, no, you go. Yeah. I thought I was going to do it, but I thought
Oh, you want to do it? Go for it.
Well, I thought you meant this, like, I was going to.
Yeah, no, go for it. Okay, lean into K-dramas.
Let me floss my teeth. Let me look some good stuff.
Lean into the K-drama. I love it. Because I feel like Natalie always gets scared. Like, you don't know this, but Natalie gets scared about talking too much about it. So
because I feel like I will say the wrong things, and I don't want to say it. So, like,
you take the wheel.
So, Jesus, take the wheel.
You are the driver. Take the wheel.
So, the 1960s, we have initially gotten influenced by the traditional storytelling and historical themes in Korean television dramas. Yeah. Early popular dramas that we have is like Love and Ambition. We have The Moon of Seoul, which then later on in the 1990s we got a little bit more modernized with like
I feel like at the beginning they were very much all traditional
very
dramas.
traditional.
So it was very much about like living in Korea, but like way back then.
This is like, I feel like this was very cultural, like getting understanding them and themselves.
Versus now, I feel like it's more modern story.
It's more modern and still like their way of living. Yeah. I love Hometown Cha-Cha-Cha because of her home. Yeah. Like, and especially her home now in like a rural like city and all that stuff. But it's so cute. Yeah. And also
like little fishing
when she goes back to the city and stuff, how she's like, this isn't my place. Yeah. Yet she lived there for so long. So I don't know, like her little apartment, her living, like I love that. Like I want to embody that.
Even in what was the first ever drama we ever watched was Crash Landing. And again, that's the same thing too. Yeah. That one is more of like she technically goes to North Korea on accident, which you have to see. But they fall in love and it's beautiful. Yeah. And it's also that like it also talks about things that are kind of going on in that place. And so like not only in South Korea obviously, but like, you know,
I feel like between the 1990s and now, like it's explored like very social issues and like relationships, domestic like life,
work life,
romance. You know, and I feel like for them, I think what I love about them is that they focus on the actual lifestyle of
I feel like if
how they live their life.
It becomes a character within the story.
Yeah.
And so very much like you get like the place of like what it's about, you get the dress, you get the whole vibe of the town. With you, like, well, with us having never been there yet.
Yeah, like we feel like you understand it, and you as well, you like want to embody it and live with it. Because I feel like when we started watching Crash Landing on You, right after we started watching some vlogs, like vloggers from over there, like the cafes and like all this stuff, and like I don't know why, but I feel like sometimes when you watch a series on TV and you watch some vloggers, it's like, okay, those
completely
are different. But for them, it just
felt like the same.
Like it just felt like it wasn't like a story they made up. It's like something that's happening in real life. Yeah. You know, I don't know if it is or isn't, but I think that's what I love about K-dramas is that they're very like diving deep storytelling and like their influence and like the trends and like the way of life that they live. You know?
I feel like it's also another thing because all the modern adaptations when they go out, it's less green screeny, which I feel like we do a lot here in Western movies, and it's more of like actually being in the places, which comes across more authentic. So if they're in a museum, they're not building a set most of the time. Like they actually go close the museum. Obviously in the houses it might be a little bit different, but it's just like it's nice to kind of get a glimpse into their world. Yeah.
And to like wrap this segment off, I feel like both the K-pop and the K-dramas have evolved from the niche of like cultural like ideas that we have, like the mainstream of it, and like they're shaping into this culture, but they're not changing
their culture, which is so beautiful.
I feel like
they're welcoming you into their culture,
but they're wanting to fit into like our vibes, where it's like what's going on now, if that makes sense. Like,
well, because it's very true to what they're going.
Like I feel like it's like they want to.
I think they want to show you how it's, even though it's on the other side of the world, like it's still, you're living a normal daily life.
And that some of like their stories and some of like the themes that they like hit on has to do a lot with what you're dealing right now or stuff that's going on.
I feel like it's another thing too, that even though there might be a language barrier, it doesn't mean that there's a barrier in the way that us as humans come across. Like, we still have the same emotions, we still have the same thoughts, we still live similar things. And I think just being open to just putting on subtitles or to even learning a new language, like, you can not only be captivated by the community and the country itself.
Whitey, wop it to.
Let's talk about. So we have already said a few of our favorite K-dramas, which we will have a list here. Ready, Natalie?
Wow,
take a picture of it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cover Leslie's face.
There's
cover
more.
mine.
There's way more. Definitely check it out. Check the list.
Yeah.
There's so many. Also, if you have any that you did not see on here and you want us to watch it, please comment.
We need a new show.
We need to know. We need to know because we will watch it.
We will watch it.
Let's talk a little bit about the fashion with K-dramas, right? So K-drama fashion and beauty, right, is a significant role that plays not only in, obviously, the TV show, but it also plays within the Korean culture, South Korean culture. And so for the K-drama fashion and beauty, first we'll start off with fashion, right? I feel like you have characters that are very chic and elegant, especially if they're like their work attire, right? So whenever they're in the city and they're working and they're like getting stuff done, like, you know, she could be a dentist, she could be a fashion designer, whatever she is. Like, she could be, what was it, that girl that was fighting crime?
Oh, she was like a lawyer now.
Yeah, she was a lawyer. You get that very, like,
oh my God,
chic
that
sense
show.
of dress.
What's that show called?
I don't remember, but that one's a good one, too. Which he
Love to Hate You.
Love to Hate You.
There's some of that, yeah?
The main actor, he came out in something with, in, like, a Western film.
And it was very beautiful,
or I think a show or something. Yeah,
no,
it's a film.
It was a film.
Yeah, we'll put that picture here.
But
Also
very good,
which is also nice. You see them kind of also coming into, because a lot of them do know English too, which is like, and they're very good.
Yeah, I'm like,
like
you sound way better than I do.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
you know more words than I do.
I'm like, what?
Yeah, so it's very sophisticated, very polished outfits. You have the sense of their street style too, which again, Natalie was saying, if it's more in like the city streets or if it's more in like the little towns, right? And so it reflects on whatever fashion trends are currently happening.
Yeah.
I feel like also throughout the decades, right? So if you watch a K-drama from maybe like 5 years ago, that's what was on trend then. Which I think it's another thing that they don't really like, I don't know, I think of it like this, like in Disney Channel, right? When you would watch like Hannah Montana or like Wizards of Waverly Place, let's be real, you would want to dress like her, but the kids our age would not dress like that, like traditionally.
Let me put this straight to you.
Right?
Hannah Montana one time wore some bell-bottom pants.
Yeah.
And a nice little lacy type of skirt with jewels. And a little tank top with like a shirt like this.
Natalie tried to walk out of the house
I
like
try
that.
to wear that to school, act so cool. My mama said, get back in there,
wearing?
choose either the skirt or the pants.
Because it didn't look good in real life. And so
I thought it did.
This is another
I was styling.
I feel like this is another thing. But with K-dramas, it's things that they actually wear. Like, it's not things where it's like they just did a They did that. It not. I'm trying to see how I could roll it in.
They just did it.
They don't have to the accessory.
They just did a whole roundabout.
It's not an accessory to them. It's actually stuff.
Lily's like, it's not an accessory.
It's like these glasses. You know what? It's a metaphor. It's a metaphor. These glasses are not just an accessory to me. I actually need them to see. Okay? And so, clearly, because I panicked when it was almost about to come off. It's because I don't even know how I got in there. I don't even know. Like, I can't even do it. Like, I don't, because my thing was like, I was right here. Like,
it's because you put probably here, like that.
Like, but it flew. Like,
it did a whole little 360.
Well, I don't even know what happened.
Where
was I? Oh. See, if
back.
you're here, it's for this, because if you listen to it, you won't listen to this. You wouldn't know that my glasses.
You wouldn't see it.
My glasses. Falling down.
My glasses fell.
You're rubbing off on me. I can't talk anymore. Okay, we're back.
Okay.
Yeah, street style. And then also historical costumes are very traditional. And so you have, like, I don't want to butcher it, but for the traditional clothing called the sejuk, you have the hanbok, which is like the kind of like the coat that they wear, that's like the robe that they wear, that's like embroidered and it's beautiful. And so they're very traditional. They make sure that they make it and keep the essence of it.
It's like that, those historical type of K-dramas that they do.
So they try to keep it as like accurate as possible, which I think is very amazing. Then you also have like how it influences the consumers. And so you see like when they're using the makeup and it's like obviously it's an ad or like, you know,
but they do it so subtle. I think that's what I like. Yeah, sometimes they're like, oh my gosh, and they're like holding it,
and you're like, oh, that was an ad.
That one, they're literally like putting on their makeup, or they're literally like eating the thing, or if they're making coffee, it's like in the background, but it's like there's,
but you could tell
you could tell, and you're like, oh my god, they have that coffee, let me get that coffee.
Yeah, and they work it into the story where it's not just like out of the blue, it's like actually makes sense.
I like to think of also like Psych, which is like different, but they also do
that where
some of them it's very subtle, like the way that they're sponsored and also, but anyway, that's different. See it. But it's it's the thing, it's like the same, like you have to be very subtle
and it works.
You're not trying to be so like
so crazy.
Was it like what's the term? Clickbaity.
Yeah. So you have that. You also
Leslie, me what?
You have that. You also. I love how I just jumped on the bandwagon. You have that. You, speaking of, most of it is like makeup brands. And so you have the makeup looks, which again are very K-beauty looks. So the first thing for them is skin is a high priority.
Like more like a
glass skin, dewy skin, like that's really what it is. So it's really about the skincare, and then it's like to have the most natural
type of
base. And then even for the eye looks, I feel like it's very much to like maintain the eye shape and to make it look.
They work around their eye shape rather than trying to change it. They work around it to make it more like pop. Yeah,
and I feel like even like also when you see like the lipstick that they wear, it's almost diffused, so it's like the main part of the lip product is in the middle, and then it kind of gets diffused outward, so it looks natural and subtle.
It looks like their own,
like a lip stain, but not really. And so I think all those, like if you start like watching K-dramas, or you have been watching K-dramas and you pay attention to that, you get to see the similarities throughout the different K-dramas when it comes to beauty and fashion. But yeah, beauty and fashion. That's what I have.
In summary, their looks serve influential markets of style, of culture, and of storytelling.
Okay, go into the fashion alley.
We're gonna go into fashion. Am I the fashion queen here?
Yeah, do you want to do fashion? All right.
Breakdown. Breakdown.
K-pop artists have collaborated with famous designers for their music videos, stage performances, and red carpet looks.
We have Chanel.
Which, you know what look I'm talking about. It's Chanel, but it's giving the black pink colors. And it's beautiful. And it's elegant. And it's very tasteful.
This is like their music videos, red carpet looks. Like their designs like emphasize like elegant sophistication, but a blend of contemporary elements.
I think it's amazing because they collaborate. Like, this is the thing. I don't know, right? But I assume that they go out looking for the best partnership versus accepting whatever brand partnership comes their way.
What
they're
defines like their
stuff. Like, we align with this, or we look like this. Like, you won't see them like with a different brand that doesn't go with their vibe, which I think is very admirable.
Then you have Louis Vuitton
for BTS.
They collaborated with them on multiple occasions. Especially like their performance, their red carpet appearances. They like showcase a lot of like, I feel like patterns. Like patterns is a lot that they showcase, especially when it comes to like an artist. Like and like the modern aesthetic. Like they still incorporate the patterns, but in a very like modern way, type of way. Street style. And again, also very like for each member.
It's like very unique to them. You also have Gucci, which worked with Blackpink, but also EXO. And so that was very for more like avant-garde electric looks, like very like.
I wouldn't have said it like that. I would have said avant-garde. I would not. So so glad that you said
avant-garde. That's what
avant-garde. Avant-garde.
Guys, I really think the public school system failed her.
No, I still don't know my vowels.
Natalie doesn't know her vowels.
I don't know how to sound out. You know how when you're like, sound it out.
Phonics. She doesn't know that. If I give her a word right here, and I'm like, just sound it out, she doesn't understand what that means. Because she's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, the words make
This is a backstory. This is the backstory. So for a major part of my little childhood before going to...
You lived in Mexico.
I lived in Mexico, so I only knew Spanish. So when I got into school...
For a year. It was only like maybe less than a
year.
year.
But at home...
Yeah.
And so when I went to school, they put me in the ELS. Is it ELS?
Yeah.
Thingy, and they kept me there for a good 3 years.
Yeah.
Until Mom made me take a test, because Mom was like, I don't think she needs it. Made me take a test, and then they realized that I didn't need it. I just needed the first year. Yeah. So while I was learning how to speak English, even though I knew how to speak English, I didn't.
She missed out on like the vowels.
Because I would get taken out of English class to do that.
Yeah. Also, here's another thing too. It was funny because. Racial profiling. They were like, oh, your last name's Gonzalez, go to the ELS. Baby, I was an advanced reader. Nobody even checked my thing. I literally went, Nelly, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I went, and they were like, we're gonna do the placement test, blah 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 blah. I finished that in like 10 minutes, and I was like, I'm done. It was supposed to be like an hour-long thing, and I was like, I'm done. And then they were like, oh, never step foot into one of those again.
I think because of that, Mom was like, hey, like
she doesn't need it.
Because I would come home with homework about, like, a Spanish word translated in English, and I'd be like, Mom, how do you do that? And then she's like, why is this your homework? And I was like, yeah. And then she's like, so they did a test, and then.
So that's another thing too. Like, yes, it helps, but then at the same time, it doesn't.
Anyways, I'm sorry, that was out of topic. But
different.
This is why I can't pronounce words. This is why I butcher stuff, because of this.
We blame the school system.
Because while I was supposed to be learning another language, I was just perfecting the language I already knew. Yeah. Anyways, so we have.
So now we have.
Say it. Balmain?
Close. Yeah. We'll let it slide. They did BTS.
How do you say it?
And Blackpink. I'll let you think about it. Balmain. Yeah, it works.
See, I would say
technically French.
I would say Balmain. Because it's like my man.
You know what? You're like the guy who pronounces it like where he's like Balake. What is it?
Don't come for me, Ms. Gigi Hadid, for it's this girl. I don't know how to say it. Yeah. It's what is it? It's Versace.
Yeah.
Don't come for me.
Don't come for me. Don't come for me.
Also, I will.
Oh my god.
I'm in an opening. Every time I'd read Baldwin, I would think of Haley
Baldwin.
I thought that was her family company.
You really did?
So long. When I was a teen. And then when I got into fashion, and I was like, oh, that's not true.
That's not her You're like, that's not why she's famous.
I thought it was. I was like, this is another famous because her family's a fashion.
Yeah, no. That's hilarious.
Anyways,
okay.
They did BTS and Blackpink.
Yeah, Balmain, whatever.
Balmain.
Balmain.
Yes.
Okay, does BTS and Blackpink for their edgy designs, and this is more of like when they're on like stage, baby, or when they have performances for like major like award shows. Versace does Blackpink, which again I feel like these two are the like more known, obviously, like that have kind of stepped foot here first, and so a lot of brands really want to work with them. But they work with them strategically for, like, they pick for, like, what
event. What red carpet, what show, what...
that goes with their vibe and their style.
I think that's what I like, that they don't tell them that they have to change their style. They work with their style. But their brand.
Brands. Another one, too, that we have is Rick Owens, and he did G-Dragons, or Big Bang. And so that was also a collaboration, which had the pop... culture elements.
We also have Saint Laurent, we have Dior, we have Off-White, we have Alexander McQueen, but I feel again it's like those bands that we know, BTS and Blackpink, that are involved, which of course we'll go more into depth
When you see the picture.
When you see the pictures.
When you see
sign.
the sign.
I feel like in the signs, I'm trying to put things that we didn't get to explain fully. In depth.
So definitely check out the Zines.
Yes,
The Zines live on our...
What do they...
And a lot of research on my end. They go in our Instagram. So definitely
stories,
check out our Instagram.
TikToks, all that stuff. We figured out how to make it full screen because they weren't doing full screen, but we figured it out,
YouTube
guys.
Shorts.
But if you were like, oh my god, I can't read this, go to TikTok. Follow us on TikTok. See it
Follow us
there.
on Instagram.
Follow us on Instagram.
We're trying to reach a substantial amount of growth in order to kind of put out more ideas that we have. So if you guys could support us there, just go ahead and like.
We'd appreciate it.
Go ahead and follow. Go ahead and comment. Go ahead and make yourselves known.
And with
because we see you here, but we don't see you there. And there is where we're a community. There is where the day in, day out. There is where you see behind the scenes, where you get an inside scoop, where you get to vote for things, where we communicate. So, communicate.
So, with Leslie wrapping it up.
That was our episode.
That was our episode.
We
a little
love the double.
A little history, a little information-y, a little bit of a giggle, a little bit of a laugh.
I feel like also another thing too, I feel like even though we can sit here and talk about this for almost an hour, it still feels like not enough.
Not enough. I feel like I'm like spitting out all the words.
And it feels like there's still more we can go into.
But
again, check out the design.
You guys driving preferences. Some of you guys do 40-minute minutes. Some of you do 30 minutes. Some of you do 10 minutes, which I envy you if you do 10 minutes to your drive to work. But anyways, so that is the wrap up.
Anyways, thank you guys so much for listening to this double release for this week. We have a lot of exciting episodes. Next week's episode is something way exciting. That's something that I didn't even think we were going to be able to do. And we did. We did. And we're so excited to show you.
Sorry. Like, that's exciting.
We're really excited.
Was I a little bit nervous? Could you tell in the video?
Yeah. Did I even not arrange my camera the right way? Because I don't even think you could see me. We have to put extra footage so you could see me because I was so nervous.
Yeah.
Anyways,
that is our episode.
Follow, like, subscribe.
Keep a listen. Keep a look.
So you can be ready for next Wednesday.
Little hearts.
Love you.
Kisses.
Pookalicious.
Toodaloo.
Toodaloo.
Bye-bye.
If there's a lot of edits or moving, it's because we had to get a new SD card. Some motherfucker just parked right next to us. There you go. Nope. Oh, it used to be like that. Let me see. No, let me see. That one. You just click it. You have to press down and then move it.
No me gusta eso. Porque no me ama a mí. That's why I have a Canon G7 VI.
Technically, it's mine and it's a G7X.